I want us to welcome the area officer for the cooperative from the Ministry of Cooperative Lagos. Please, a round of applause for Mrs. Onatheko. Okay, so like I told you, the area officer, Mrs. Onatheko for Oshodi, is all right. Okay, and Mr. Balogun, the deputy, they are around, and we are very, very fortunate to have them. Interestingly, we've been talking on phone, but I've just been there for the first time, and she's seen me for the first time. But then, you know, it's like we've been a customer and we've been a good customer. Today we've been doing service together, and we are very much honored to have them today. They are also very, very busy doing this job of cooperative, trying to see that people come together, able to help ourselves alleviate poverty. So, like what they are here to do specifically today is to assist us in inaugurating the camps group that we have. We have about 6 of the camps, which, like we discussed before they came, that we are setting up in order to take advantage of the Fadama projects that we are presently involved in. So I will want us to go straight into that aspect without delay. Then we can come back to our other meeting. But before they came up, I was talking about our certificate, and I believe that our certificate is with them today. I've asked that they should ensure that our certificate comes with them today. So we've really tried to have that certificate, and I believe they are going to display it for us. We are happy to have you around. So I would just want to hand over to you so that you can lead us in coordination and coordinating the inauguration. Thank you. I think there is a little bit of upgrade they are doing as per the certificates. You know, the cooperative was under Ministry of Agriculture, Industry and Commerce, or I think, okay, under Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperative before, but now they now have, the ministry is now under Commerce, Industry and Cooperative now. So the certificate we have before is under the former Agriculture and Cooperative, but they want it to be under the new ministry that is formed. So they said the director of cooperative insisted that she wants us to have the new certificate, and that's why they couldn't bring it today. So, okay. This is the photocopy of the old one here with them. Okay, so there is an assurance that in the next 1 week we should be able to have the certificate. So when we have the certificate, I will announce it to us on our online forum. Okay.
I want to say good afternoon to the distinguished members of the high table, my colleague from the area office, Mr. Balogun, fellow cooperators, ladies and gentlemen. Answer me now. Good afternoon. Are we tired? Okay. I have two apologies to make. My first apology is in respect of your certificate of registration. Like Mr. Gbemini just said, we moved from the Ministry of Agric and Cooperatives to Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Cooperatives. Unfortunately, during the period when your certificate was released to your president, he observed that just two numbers were missing from the certificate. You know, the certificate is supposed to be dated, and the date was put there. So you expect the date to end with 2016, Abi? But they just put 20, the 16 was omitted. He returned it, and I assured him that it will be done, and the certificate has been returned since last month. But we had a meeting with our director last week where I inquired why the certificate is being delayed, and we were informed that due to the new change from one ministry to the other, the new certificate will have to be upgraded to Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Cooperatives, because this one reads Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperatives. And I also went to meet her yesterday. I was there this morning, but this morning she emphatically refused to give up. Yes, she said all certificates starting from next month, we are going to be issuing new ones. And since this one is back with her, is in our custody, she's not going to return the old certificate. It's better you get a new one. And I just have to agree with her. Please, I'm very, very, very sorry. Then my second apology, we want to apologize for coming late. I hope you are aware that we have serious traffic on Ikorodu Road, throughout Ikorodu Road down to Ikorodu. We live in Ikorodu. Some of us, we are aware of Ojota bus stop. The one river, Odoyalaro or whatever, overflowed its bank today. Yes, because some drainages were blocked. You know, we Nigerians, we love pouring dirty, our rubbish, our dustbin, we pour it on the streets, in the gutters. So because the drainages were blocked, Odoyalaro overflowed its bank, and there was a little flooding on the way. So that was what caused the traffic, and the traffic is everywhere. I think we got to respite when we got to Oshodi. It's only Oshodi that is free. Everywhere is blocked. Everywhere is blocked. So we are very, very sorry for coming late. I hope our apology is accepted. Thank you. We are not habitual latecomers. Thank you very much. So let's go down to the business of the day, straight to the business of the day. We are here to conduct the inauguration ceremony. What is an inaugural ceremony? What do we mean by inauguration? Inauguration of a cooperative society is the official or the formal launching of a cooperative society. We are mothers and fathers of cooperative societies, and we heard that we have 6 new babies that have been born at Sele here. So we are here to do the naming ceremony. That's what we are here for. And by the time you get your certificate, the baby that we gave birth to, we are giving the baby birth certificate. Yes. We already know that MeritChoice already is in the pipeline. We already got one old certificate, we'll get our new one. So our new babies too, you'll get your certificate this May. Yes, it's only our inauguration that has delayed our certificate, because the inauguration is important. If you check your forms, the registration forms that you filled, the second to the last paragraph, date of inauguration, is stated there. So before I submit this registration form to my director, I must have inaugurated this cooperative society, and I'll attach the inauguration report to this form, and I'll put the date there. So it is very, very important. Let's start with the definition of a cooperative society. What is a cooperative society? Some of us may have been joining cooperative before now. We may have experience about what a cooperative is all about, but some of us, we don't even know. We have been informed and we just decided to give it a trial. How many of us knows what a cooperative society is? Definition. Can anybody, even if it is in layman's language, can anybody say something about cooperatives? Anybody? Are we hungry? Yes, please come forward.
Layman's language, not like that, I wrote your car.
Chikela. Somebody said, Oton. Well, you tried, yes. Sort of. But it's more than that. It's broader than that. I'm going to give you a comprehensive definition, then I'll break it down because there are some keywords that we need to be aware of. A cooperative society is an autonomous association of people of like minds with a unanimous decision to put resources together in order to promote their socio-economic well-being. Let me start again. A cooperative society is an autonomous association. What do I mean by an autonomous association? It means you are independent. Yes, you are an independent body. You are not under anybody. Are you under me? You may be under the supervision of the ministry, but you are on your own. You are a body on your own. A cooperative society is an autonomous association of people of like minds. What do I mean by people of like minds? Are we not here together to pursue the same goals? Are we? We have the same objectives. That is why we are coming together. Yes. A cooperative society is an autonomous association of people of like minds with a unanimous decision. What do I mean by unanimous decision? Yes, a decision that was taken, no, not even similar, was taken collectively. God bless you. We made a collective decision to come together. And what decision did we make? A cooperative society is an, I hope you are following me. A cooperative society is an autonomous association of people of like minds with a unanimous decision to pool resources together. That is the decision we made. We have an objective. How do we achieve it? We make a decision to pool our resources together. What resources are you pulling together? Thank you. Without money, can this cooperative society exist? Can we move forward? Yes, we need money. Without money, you cannot do anything. Yes. So one of the resources that we are pulling together is money. Then secondly, man. Without you, can this cooperative society exist? No. So our resources is money and man. Or let me say man and money, because there will be man before you get money. Yes. A cooperative society is an autonomous association of people of like mind with unanimous decision to put resources together in order to promote their socio-economic well-being. What do I mean by promoting your socio-economic well-being? Do you know that when you come to a cooperative society, you are seeking financial empowerment? Are you not? When you get financial assistance, do you know that your social status will change? Abi? Your social status will change. Your economic status will change. And if your social and your economic status changes, of course, you're on your way to achieving socio-economic well-being or welfare. Am I communicating? You can see that I'm not talking big grammar, but the definition makes sense. Thank you very much. That is the definition of a cooperative society. Then we have different types of cooperative societies. We have different types. The first and the most popular type of cooperative society is the Cooperative Thrift and Credit Society, popularly called Alajesheku. Thrift and credit. Thrift has been said.
Nice photo inside both PDF and the video. So that's a quality work that you don't want to be 5,000 naira. So please get that, and of course buy the product before you go. Thank you. God bless you. So I want to move to the next on the same thing. We
are coming together to form. What is a cooperative agricultural multipurpose society? It's otherwise known as farmers cooperative. It is multipurpose in the sense that different kinds of farmers come together to form the cooperative. She might be a pig farmer, he might be a livestock farmer, you may be a poultry farmer, she may be a fish farmer, she may be a pig farmer. So it is multi-purpose in nature because we are doing different kinds of trade. We are trading in different kinds of farming. So that is what is known as a cooperative agricultural multi-purpose society, better still called farmers cooperative. Thirdly, we have the consumer cooperative society. What is a consumer cooperative society? From the name, they deal in consumer goods. They save their money, they go to the market, they buy in bulk, then they sell to members in retail. Of course, they are going to enjoy economies of scale because they'll buy it cheaper. You can't compare buying in bulk from the market to you going to the retailer. So they are going to enjoy economies of scale. That is the consumer cooperative society. We also have artisans cooperative society. What is an artisan? I mean, who is an artisan? I want to share, God bless you. Those people over there, their brain is very sharp. Yeah. Yes. Who are the artisans? Like the welders, the photographers, the tailors, and so on and so forth. They also have their own cooperative society. So that is the Artisans Cooperative Society. We also have the Cooperative Multipurpose Society. Example, MeritChoice, CMS. What is a cooperative multipurpose society? From the name, it is not indicative whether you are into thrift and credit. The name does not indicate whether you are farmers. The name does not indicate whether you are artisans or whether you are a consumer cooperative society. What does multipurpose mean? Gbogbo nishe. Thank you. You are in no kishe gbogbo ero. Wọ́n ti kọ́ lẹ́yìn o. No. Kárìn kápọ̀ yíyẹ ló yẹ ní ayé àtijọ́ ni o. Èèyàn gidi la máa ń wá sínú ẹgbẹ́ o. Thank you. So multipurpose, gbogbo nishe, that means you can go into any kind of business. Not even any kind of business. Legitimate, yes. Legitimate businesses. Any business that does not contravene what the law says. You can go into any business under the sun. You can be into thrift and credit, which is compulsory. You can be farmers, you can be artisans, you can deal in consumer goods, import and export, hire purchase, equipment leasing, and so on and so forth. But you cannot deal in smuggling. That is illegal. You cannot deal in prostitution. That's the hair. You cannot do yahoo. Thank you. That is illegal. So that is cooperative multipurpose society. We also have export cooperative society. What is an export cooperative society? From the name, they are into exportation of goods. And don't think that only big companies or big individuals can form an export cooperative society. At this place, how many of us have heard of Finanja? On the way to Badagry, you can see that we have farmers there who deal in vegetables. Can you believe that they are into export? They export ugu, they export spring rolls, they export so many vegetables that some other country needs. So that is the export cooperative society. We also have telephone cooperative society. What is a telephone cooperative society? Let me give you an example. In Kenya, it is the cooperative societies that are controlling the economy there. Ask me how. Thank you very much. The cooperative societies in Kenya invested in telecommunications. Yes, and they are the ones that are the majority, not even shareholder. They have majority of the telecommunications market. They are into telephone services. And because everybody needs a telephone, who is here that does not have a telephone? Everybody has it. So you can see why they are controlling the economy of Kenya. So cooperative is serious business. So those are some of the types of cooperative society. There are more than that too. Those are some that I can mention right now. So let's go to the forms of cooperative societies. We have 3 forms of cooperative societies. We have the primary society, we have the secondary society, and we have the tertiary society. What is a primary society? Simply means a single cooperative society. MeritChoice is a primary society. Peace Cooperative Agricultural Multipurpose Society is a primary society. So secondly, we have secondary cooperative society. What is a secondary cooperative society? More than one. This brings us to cooperative unions. What is a cooperative union? A cooperative union is a cooperative society that is formed by the coming together of minimum of 5 primary cooperative societies. Cooperative unions, I'm sure you have heard of them before. In the same way that you are a member of this cooperative society, the primary societies are members of the union. As you are saving your money in this cooperative society, they are also saving their money to the union as you are borrowing money and paying back. In short, the relationship between the member primary cooperative societies to the union is the relationship you have to your cooperative society. Am I communicating? That is the secondary society. Finally, we have the tertiary cooperative society. Under the tertiary cooperative, under the tertiary cooperative societies, we also have classes of cooperative societies. So what classes of cooperative societies do we have? We have the grassroots, we have the grassroots level. At the grassroots level, are we not one type of cooperative society? Because we're starting from the grassroots. Abi? Are we not starting from the grassroots? Yes. So we are one class of cooperative society at the grassroots level. At the local government level, I want to believe that we are under Oshodi Solo. Local government. We are not talking about LCDAs now. We are under Oshodi Solo. So you are one class of cooperative society under Oshodi Solo. And at the local government level, we have the union of all cooperative societies under that local government. When you get your certificate, automatically you belong to the union of Oshodi Isolo, local government multipurpose union. And what does the union do? The union is like the mother of all cooperative societies. We meet, we discuss the way forward for our cooperative societies. They can even mediate, they settle disputes between cooperative societies. So the union is a tertiary cooperative society. You know, I mentioned primary, secondary, and tertiary. The union is a tertiary cooperative society. So under each local government, under the 20 local governments of Lagos State, we have the union representing each local government. Then at the state level, we have what is known as Lagos State Cooperative Federation, LASCOFED. How many of us has heard of that name, LASCOFED? You have heard here. Their headquarters is at Ogba, and that is the apex body for all cooperative societies in the state. In Lagos State, we have LASCOFED. In Ogun State, we have OXOFED. In Oyo State, we have OISCOFED, and so on and so forth. At the federal level, we have what is known as the CFN, North Christian Fellowship of Cooperative Federation of Nigeria. And that is also a tertiary cooperative society, and that is the union of all the cooperative societies in Nigeria. Yes. At the global level, we have what is known as the ICA, International Cooperative Alliance. So the CFN, Cooperative Federation of Nigeria, they are representing us at the global level under International Cooperative Alliance. The International Cooperative Alliance, they hold their congresses every year, and they shift their congresses to all their member countries, because Nigeria too is also a member. I remember they held their congress in Nigeria in 2004. Yes. So those are the types, forms, and classes of cooperative societies. We have traveled all over the world. Let us come back to our own cooperative society. What are the sources of funds for a cooperative society? You know what your sources of funds are? The first one is your entrance fees. You call it registration fees. If you want to join a cooperative society, it is not free. You have to pay a certain amount to become a member of the cooperative society. It is compulsory. Secondly, we have our ordinary savings. You call it monthly contribution. If you don't have any amount, if you have not saved into your cooperative society, If you are not a financial member, you are not a member. We have some cooperative societies where members will just put down their name. They'll be attending meetings and they will not save their money to the purse of the cooperative society. If you are not a financial member, you are not a member. So we are going to register the cooperative society. The list of the members have been submitted, and I can see that some of us we have been saving. But for those of us who have not saved, we are going to expunge your name when we take your file to allow service, because if you are not a financial member, you are not a member. The third source of fund is your special savings. What is special savings? Special savings is money that you save that is targeted towards a particular goal. For example, this is April ending. Do you know that by September you'll be paying another school fees for your children? You can start saving into your cooperative society from now on, so that when the time comes, you won't find it too hard to pay the money. So special savings is like target savings. You can also save towards December period. Maybe those of us who are Christians, last year maybe we ate fried rice and chicken. This year we are deciding that no, we are going to eat turkey, live one. We are buying turkey this year. You can save towards that. Save the money to the cooperative society. Let your cooperative society be your bank. Your cooperative society is like your bank. That is the third source of fund. We also have what is known as fines. People who come late to meetings, they're supposed to pay fines. There's fines for lateness. There's also fines for absenteeism. Some of us don't bother to come to the cooperative society and we say we are members. But the fines for absenteeism will exceed that of lateness, because somebody who came late, he or she made an effort. But the absentee did not make any effort, did not bother to come at all. So there is fines. There's also bank interest. If you open a savings account, if the bank gives you interest, the amount will be added to your bank balance. Not so. Is it not an income? Yes, it is an income to the cooperative society. We also have loan interest. What is loan interest? It's simply the amount that you pay on the loan you get from your cooperative society. Am I communicating? Yeah. So those are some of the sources of funds that I can mention right now. We also have expenses. As we are operating, because cooperative is like doing business with each other, we incur expenses. Not so? Yeah. What kind of expenses do we incur? We have what is known as stationaries. Do you know that every financial transaction has to be recorded? And there are some statutory books that we use for that. So your cooperative society bought stationaries so that they can record all our transactions. They can take minutes of our meetings. So stationaries is part of your expenses. Then transport. Mr. Gbemini has been coming to our place for some time. Sometimes we'll send one of our brothers. Mr. Gbemini, I cannot see wings behind his back. I'm sure I didn't fly to my office. He must have expended some amount on transportation. So transport is part of your expenses. We also have induction course or seminars. Every year we conduct seminars, workshops, induction course for cooperative societies through the ministry. Even as we are getting registered now, some of us are going to attend induction course at the college. You have paid for three participants each. The president, secretary and treasurer, the trustees, they are going to attend. So it's part of your expenses. If you open a current account, if they charge you COT, is that not an expenses incurred by the cooperative society? Yeah. So those are some of the expenses that you can incur in the course of running your cooperative society. So let's come back to our money. Let's start with our savings. When we establish a cooperative society, each member has to save for a minimum of 6 months before you can be eligible for loan. Am I communicating? We must save consistently for 6 months before we can start getting loan. If we start saving this month and we start giving members loan this month, how much do you think we'll be getting as loan? Peanuts. So if each and every member save consistently for 6 months, then you have a strong capital base. And as I am getting loan and I'm paying back, other members too will also benefit. And as they are paying back, they will not deprive other members who are qualified of their legitimate right of prompt collection of loan. Am I communicating? Yeah, that is for your savings. Then when you want to get loan from your cooperative society, you must make sure that you have saved for at least 6 months. You cannot get loan until after 6 months. You already know that. You have to have minimum of at least 2 guarantors. 2 guarantors or sureties to guarantee your loan. And the loan that you're getting from your cooperative society is supposed to be twice your savings. You cannot get more than twice your savings. So your maximum credit limit is twice your savings. If I have 100,000 naira as savings, I'm entitled to how much as loan? Thank you very much. Don't give me 500,000 naira. The president, the trustees, they shouldn't give me 500,000 naira because I'm not qualified for that. So do not exceed your maximum credit limit, and the loan repayment period is 1 year. And if you want the loan repayment period to exceed 1 year, it should not exceed more than 1.5 years. And that 1.5 years should be for large amounts. Because we have some people that will borrow 20,000 naira and they'll pay back for 2 years. That's wicked. Yes, it's wicked. We have some people that will borrow 10,000 naira and they'll pay back for 1 year. That is wickedness. Do not say that because the law stipulates that the loan repayment period is 1 year, you have the ability to pay and you just hold on to our money. If you can pay off within 1 or 2 months or 3 months, please do so. What you do not know is that immediately you are finished paying your money, you are entitled to another loan on the spot, provided members' loan are treated on first come, first serve basis. So please, when you have money with us, please pay back as and when. Then before we grant loan, you can be entitled to twice your savings and we may not give it to you. Do you know why? We have to assess the ability to pay. Let me give you an example. I am also a member of my ministry's cooperative society and we practice what we preach. Our own loan period is even 1 year. If you cannot pay back within 1 year, they won't even give you that loan. So let me see. Let me apply for, let's say I applied for a loan of 10 million naira. Do you know I'm not going to be granted that loan? Do you know why? Because the check that Ambode is paying me every month, if I don't take a cover and I pay it into my cooperative account, I cannot pay back 10 million naira within 1 year. So I will not be granted that loan. If you give people money that they cannot pay back, even though they are entitled, you are putting the person in problem, you are putting the guarantors in problem, you are putting the EXCOs because they granted the loan, the executive committee, you are putting them in problem. Even the cooperative society is a problem because the cooperative society's money is with somebody. So we usually consider your ability to pay. So if you are qualified and they don't grant you, there must be a reason. We will not grant you if you don't have the ability to pay within the stipulated period. Am I communicating? Then whatever money that you are getting, please use it for productive purposes. We don't use cooperative money to marry second wife. Yes, we don't use cooperative money for weddings. We don't use cooperative money for naming ceremony. We don't use cooperative money for burial. Some people, their mother and father has been dead for years. And they will now say, because they are now in cooperative, they believe that money has come. Cooperative. They now go to the cooperative and borrow money. Some people are so stupid to the extent that they will invite people that they believe they will give them envelope when they come to the party. They will say, I'll get my money back. But have you not gone to parties where even the celebrant will get nothing in return? So don't use cooperative money for party and you believe when people come, let me invite better people. When they come, you give me money. They may not give you money. So we only use cooperative money for productive purposes. Use it for business. Somebody that can generate interest. Something that can generate interest. The business that you're going to do that you know you'll be able to pay back money as when due. So that is what we use cooperative money for. And we don't go into businesses that we don't know about. Because if you go into businesses that you don't know about, you may fail. Yes. There was a time everybody wanted to go into cyber cafe There was a time everybody wanted to own a microfinance bank. There was a time everybody wanted to go into pure water business. How many of them are still existing now? How many microfinance banks are still existing? How many people went to pure water project about 10 years ago are still into the business now? Some people said, how come we talking short? Me short. It's a lie. Because yes, that may not be God's purpose for you. Also, before you get loan, make sure you put God first, so that it will ease your way and you'll be able to pay back the money. Then every year, you must bring your books to our cooperative society, to our office. We go through it, we audit it. Then we take it to Alausa for approval by the director. Then you can hold your annual general meeting. We call it AGM. We have some cooperative societies, they don't hold their annual general meeting yearly. What is annual? Once a year. Some cooperative societies can even hold 3 years annual general meeting. Is that AGM or 3GM? So we must hold our AGM every year. Then what do we do at our annual general meeting? We declare the cooperative society's income, we declare our expenses, we declare and share dividend, we conduct election, we pass resolutions and any other business. At your election ceremony, even if it is not on your AGM day, make sure that the officers must be present, just to ensure that you are not imposing the executives on members. Am I communicating? Yes. And you see, our executive committee members, we have some powers. I just pray that we don't misuse it. Yes. Do you know that they have some powers that they use? Because they are the ones in charge of running the affairs of the cooperative societies. I've been to a cooperative societies meeting where if all the members are not seated, the president will not come to sit on the high table. We have been to meetings where the president will say, as far as I'm the president of this society, this is what will happen. No, we are equal. The motto of cooperative society is what? Each for all and all for each. We are in this together, but we just have some people who have to manage the affairs of the cooperative society. We cannot manage it together. We have to put them there. Because if we say we are going to manage it together, there will be rancor. Yes. And there's this saying that, okay, before I go to that saying, their tenure of office for cooperative societies is just 1 year for one term. 1 year for one term. If they perform well, they may be re-elected for the second term. But the maximum tenure of office is 2 terms. There's no third term. Go ask for Basanjo. There's no third term. Yes. And for multi-purpose societies, their tenure of office is 2 years for one term. So their maximum tenure of office is 2 terms or 4 years. Am I communicating? Yes. So whatever we are doing, let us do it with the fear of God. Then finally, we have assistance that we get from government from time to time. But I want to advise you that do not establish a cooperative society because of what you want to get from government. Because if you do that as your main, if you have that as your main objective, you find out that after getting the largesse from government, scatter. Everybody might fund that way. Everybody will just go on his or her own. But if you establish a cooperative society because you want to operate as a cooperative society, you will continue to exist. Every time that that the assistance from government comes from time to time, you will continue to benefit. So that is the beauty of being a member of a cooperative society. I want to rest my case here. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Thank you.
I think that is loaded, right? Wow. We've been looking to go for training because I was even discussing, I didn't introduce member of the table to you. For the MeritChoice Multipurpose Society, I'm the president of the cooperative, and at my left we have Pastor Bolawoke James, who is the treasurer. He's also a chartered accountant. I have by the other end is Ijeoma Ibe, who is the financial secretary, and I have Eyo Caroline, the secretary. So I was just having a chat with him. I said, we have not been invited for training. And what we are getting now is good page. And it's like what I was hearing now is new, and I can say it's also refreshing because it's giving us more information on what we need and how to operate. So I definitely know that I have questions too, and I know that people will definitely have questions. But let me start by asking from the term, because I was just asking, you said for the cooperative, if we have terms like multi-purpose, you come in for 2 years, then you can be re-elected for another 2 years. Then after that, you might not be you cannot function again. That means you cannot be re-elected again.
Let me explain that. If you have exceeded your maximum tenure, you have to step aside for a period of another 2 years at least before you come back. Because we are human. No matter how good your intentions are, if you stay too long in a position, you will change. So the law just stipulates that the seat is not permanent for anybody. There are geniuses amongst us. If you don't try them, you will not know their abilities. So we have to give others the opportunity to serve us, because all members are potential executives.
Why I actually asked that is because I'm a member of the cooperative, though not in Lagos here in Ibadan. And if I can't remember when they've changed the president, because that man possibly might have spent like 10 years or more. I mean, since 2007 that I've been part of, of course. But he's among the traders. They are traders. So I happen to be part because my mom was a trader and she was part of it. She just felt that, okay, at least use this method to save your money and to do something. So I came in since 2007. I still remember, let's say 2006. He has been the president till now. He's been the president. And anytime they want to, and I think one of the reasons is because the members are not really willing to serve. So they come back and say, who is ready to say, hey, John, I'm not ready. So nobody was ready to take the responsibility. The man is even old, but he has been the president since day one that I've known the cooperative. So that's why I was asking that, what happened? Is there no penalty if you now stay on the job when you're supposed to have stepped aside?
There is no penalty. The only thing is that if you overstay your position, delegates may be sent from Alausa to come and remove you and put another person there. And yes, maybe after 2 years you can come back, but you have to leave and let somebody else do what you feel that you are the only person. Because see? Yes.
Thank you. All right, let's open the floor for other members, please. Caroline.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Lucy. So my first question goes to that primary, secondary, and tertiary group that you made mention of. I want to ask the money involved to register to join as the body or as the unit here. I think it's not too much. Maybe to join that secondary one and that PFA, the PFA that we talk about, CFA. Is it not too much? Would that money not be borne by the members of the cooperative? Number one. Then that payment period. Some cooperative in Lagos here, they do pay maybe for a period of 3 years, 2 years. I know. I'm one of them. So then that I want to ask: is it static? Is it a law that they should pay within a year? Is it a law that they should pay within a year? Then thirdly, sorry, that's a tenure that we are talking about. The one that I know in Oyibo, the woman there has been on that seat for roughly 3 years now, and they've not done any change of government, anything of that executive. So I want to ask: is it just have they just made that law that they should be rotating that the executive? That's my question.
Thank you very much. The first question, belonging to all these tertiary cooperative societies, I said when you register, automatically you are a member of Oshodi Solo Union, yes. But you are not going to join the others individually, like the LASCO-Fed body, like the CFN, representing the whole of Nigeria, because Oshodi Solo Union will be representing you at LASCO-Fed. And LASCO-Fed will also be representing you at the federal level. So, that is it. Well, you don't go to their meeting because you are not aware of their functions. You see, there's what we call, under the law, there's what we call cooperative movements. What is a cooperative movement? Cooperative movements consists of the cooperative officials like us, you individual members of cooperative societies, primary societies, and the tertiary and secondary societies. The whole body is the cooperative movement. And if we have a cooperative movement, we should have somebody to represent us at whatever level. You find out that there is interaction between countries, maybe import, maybe export, Greek, and whatever. But because cooperative was also imported into Nigeria, so they brought cooperative up. So they want to know how we are doing. That is why we are continuing to be interacting. So it is the Cooperative Federation of Nigeria that is interacting on your behalf with the global body, yes, the International Cooperative Alliance, ICA, God bless you. And it is the Lagos State Cooperative Federation that is representing you at the federal level. Because all this information is being taken back to where cooperative originated from. Because we are also being represented at the global level. They know that we already have a federal body. They know that we already have bodies in all the states. And they are also encouraging us to continue to educate and propagate cooperative societies. Because whatever we do not forget that cooperative is the only way, is the only means that you can use to alleviate poverty. Yes, how many of us can get money from our family members? Because cooperative will shape because we are benefiting a lot. So it's just a question of interaction. They want to know whether cooperative is moving forward, whether people have heard what you can benefit from cooperative society. They just want, if possible, they want every Nigerian to be a cooperator, so that we can get rid of poverty in the land. Of course, they are also aware that there's poverty in the land. They want us to join cooperative so that we will not suffer. And the unions, like I said, they settle disputes. Like if we have a dispute in the cooperative society and we cannot handle it by ourselves, you can come to the union, you can also come to the ministry. And because we have the requisite knowledge to show you the way, we have the ability to settle such disputes. Your second question, sir. Payment period, thank you very much. Those cooperative societies that are paying for a period of 2 and 3 years is against the law. I'm sure the ministry is not aware, because don't think about yourself as individuals, because you have gotten the money, you are still making use of it. You are holding on to it for about 3 years. But think about others, people's money that is with you for 2-3 years. It is not right. Let me also tell you something, sir. If we give loan to about half of the members of this cooperative society and they hold on to it for 2-3 years, do you think this cooperative society can move forward? you see, whatever laws are being made by the government, especially this cooperative law, it is based on problems encountered in the field. So it leads to majority of the society's funds being in the hands of a few members. It disrupts cash flow in majority of these cooperative societies. I'm telling you, there will be a long waiting list before you can get your loan. I put it to you, sir, that they don't get their loan immediately they apply. Am I making sense? That is it. It is not right. It is against the law, sir. And maybe they are not registered, or maybe their officer is not aware. But if the officer is aware, I'm sure the officer will put them through and they will change their thinking. Then your third question. Of the officers, thank you. Like Mr. Gbemini said that he also belongs to one such cooperative society. You see, sometimes to even change officers, to make officers leave their posts, sometimes it's difficult. We even have some presidents who are there, not because members want them, but because of Ogunabenu. Yes, some people just want to be your leader. They just want to be paid. They want you to be under them. They want to continue leading perpetually, and it's not right. So I want to believe that maybe that cooperative society is not registered, or maybe they are not close to the area office. Maybe their officers are not visiting them regularly. Because it's only for multi-purpose societies that you can spend 2 years for one term. All other cooperative societies is one term. So if they hold their annual general meetings regularly, and the officers are there, they will be aware. Even sometimes, I'm even surprised that it's in Ogun State, because I have somebody who complained to me that when they want to change officers and the officers are not able to, they said the director of cooperatives in Ogun State will come with policemen to chase those who are overstaying there. I just remember that. To chase whoever is overspending his tenure and put other people there. You can imagine how serious they are taking the law. Have I answered your question, sir? Thank you. Any other question, please?
Well, Madam, I want to appreciate your detailed explanation of some of the things. And one thing that baffles me is that, number one, the training. The MeritChoice multipurpose was inaugurated, I think, in August or September last year. And we've been going there to ask, and they keep telling us they are coming. All these things we are supposed to know. If the executive doesn't know, how much more the congregation? So please, I want you to help us to put pressure on them so that we can have this training. That's number one. Then number two, this type of thing I believe should be coded in constitution, cooperative constitution. There's no constitution. At least if we have constitution that we can look through and go and understand all the, and I want to believe that many of these people that perpetuate themselves in office is doing so because there's no authority, there's no constitution, there's nothing that members have access to that they can say, look here, this is what the constitution says, so you cannot go beyond it.
Thank you. It is in the law. So I want to open the page where it is. So other members can ask their questions while I'm still checking. Yeah, please come forward.
We are going to take only one more question so that we can go into the inauguration. Okay?
Thank you, ma'am. Now, I want to ask now, I'm sure how you're doing. Now, mention about somebody save money now. Person can take maybe a double of the money after 6 months. Now, I want to ask now, will somebody pay the interest on all the, let's assume now I obtain a loan of 1,000 now, and I have 50,000 in my deposit now. Will I pay the interest on all the money or on half of the interest? And second question is this: I want to ask, can cooperative obtain loan from CBA, I mean from Bank of Nigeria, or from higher bank like all these Royal Bank, First Bank, and so on?
Thank you very much. The loan interest, you can pay it in two ways. You can pay it upfront, or it can be prorated. It can be divided by the number of months that you are going to pay the loan. So that decision will be taken by the whole house. Yes. Then the second question, we do not encourage you to borrow money from banks because their interest rates can be really, really high. For the interest rates of cooperative societies, the minimum is 5%, the maximum is 15%. But we advise starters to use 10% as their loan interest. So when you go to a bank, there's no bank you can go to now where the interest will be lower than 22%. Am I communicating? When you get a loan from the bank, you are paying 22% to the bank, and you are giving the loan to members at the rate of 10%. Won't you get a deficit? So we don't encourage you to get loans from the bank, because if you tell members now, I want to get loan from the bank, it's 22% we are getting it. So you pay 23%. How many members will go for the loan? They will not. So even if you use the expenses of the cooperative society to pay, if you use the money of the cooperative society to pay the interest, the deficit will be on members because their dividend will be very, very low. And sometimes we have seen cooperative societies liquidating, going bankrupt because they got loan from bank. So it is not wise. So what you can do is to increase your savings. Make sure you all your duties and obligations to the society, just perform it, and whatever money that you need, you'll be able to get from your cooperative society. You are just looking at it like you're still small, but all those big cooperative societies, they started from somewhere. You too will get there. I think that was the last question. Last question.
Because of time, I might have to reduce my question. But my name is okay. You said something regarding giving out of loans and not to divert the money for something else. So I want to ask, does the cooperative oversee the utilization of loan, give it out to members? No, once the money gets to somebody, whatever that person decides to do, you cannot oversee. So I want to know, does the cooperative oversee the utilization of loan given out to members? Then secondly, how does the cooperative assess a member's repayment ability? Well, you said something like the person requiring for 10 million, so how do you assess the person's ability? Then third question, I'm sorry for asking.
I said only one question. Yes.
Okay. Now, on what basis, in the meeting that was well laid out, on what basis does a member think fit to have a loan if there is an irregular but consistent saving over a period of time? Now, let's say for instance now, someone have a huge sum of money somewhere and decides to save it over a period of time, and it's not something that he has been doing over a time, and he wants to get a loan, double the amount. So on what basis do you now assess that, okay, this person is doing for this social amount, which maybe got money elsewhere that might have boosted his ability to get double the amount? I hope you understand what I'm trying to say.
From your last question, if you get money from somewhere else and use it to boost your savings, it's allowed, but you cannot get loan immediately. That money that you are bringing from outside to stay with us for 3 months. We just want to be sure that the money is yours. So within those 3 months, you can investigate whether the person didn't get money, didn't go outside to borrow money, or did you just pick somebody's money to come and put in the cooperative society? Even if you don't investigate, if the money stays with you for 3 months, you already know that money is safe. Yes. Then, for those of us who don't pay our savings regularly, you are not eligible for loan. Yes. Those of us that are saving regularly, are we idiots? No, it is not. It's a selfish act. You just believe you can save anytime you feel like. And other members are saving, and when you want to get loan, you get loan. No, you won't get loan. Because those of us that are consistent, you are not borrowing your money. You are borrowing somebody else's money. If you are borrowing your money, in your passbook, we will cancel your savings. I will just put that you are collecting loan. But in your passbook, your savings will be recorded. Your loan taking will also be recorded. So you are getting somebody else's money. So we are all equal, and we have to perform our duties to the cooperative society, it is your duty. And you also have an obligation to save your money regularly to the purse of the cooperative society. Then another question. You said, how do you monitor what the person uses the money for? Thank you. I want to say that there's a limit to how you can monitor a cooperative society's, a cooperative member's money. But that is where the guarantors come in. You as a guarantor, you have to ensure that whoever you guarantee the loan uses the money for whatever purpose he stated in the loan form. Because if you don't do that, if he or she defaults, you're also in trouble. Because if you cannot get our money back from the beneficiary, we're going to get it back from the guarantor. Yes, so what do we do? Whatever we want to use the money for, the guarantor can accompany the beneficiary to wherever he or she wants to, or whatever he or she to, just to ensure that the purpose of the loan is justified. And the guarantor also has the duty to remind the cooperator, tomorrow is our meeting, we are going together, don't forget, you are going to pay the money so that me too I can get my money when I need it. And the executive committee members too, if somebody wants to use the money for a specific purpose, the executives can also do something about it. If I say I want to buy a bus so that I can use it for transport business, the cooperative society can go and negotiate with the dealer, God bless you. You can go to negotiate with the dealer and the cooperative society can pay directly to the dealer. The money may not even get to the cooperator's hand. So the cooperative society can buy it on behalf of the member. Then even the cooperative society can put their name on the vehicle. Then when he or she finishes off the loan, he or she can change the name to his or her own. So there are so many ways that you can use to monitor whoever is getting loan. If they say they want to go to the market, they want to purchase so goods, the cooperative society can go to the market and pay to the wholesaler, accompanied by the beneficiary. So everything, you just operate an open door policy so that they just see that you are trying to protect people's money. Then finally, how do you assess a person's ability to pay? If I borrow 100,000 naira and my loan interest is 10%, that is 10,000 naira. That means I'm paying back 110,000 naira. That 110,000 naira, just divide it by 12 months. That will bring you to about 9,000 naira plus every month. So you have to assess the person. Can this person bring 9,000 naira to our meeting day? He or she is married, he has kids, they go to school, they go to work, transport money, food, and so on and so forth. You have to assess the person, whether he or she can pay. I said my own, 10 million, I can't pay in 1 year, because if you want to marry you, so you have to assess people. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for our please. Okay, I think after this we are going to need to proceed to the inauguration proper.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon once again. Please can we be on our feet? Because I want to mention the names of my ogas. And even though they are not here, I want you to just show a sign of respect. Thank you very much. And by the powers conferred upon me and on behalf of the Executive Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Akinwumi Ambode, on behalf of the Honorable Commissioner, Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Cooperatives, Honorable Rotimi Makinde Ogunleye, on behalf of the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Cooperatives, Mr. Fariuddin Akodu, on behalf of the Director of Cooperative Services, Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Cooperatives, Mrs. Olufumilayo Zuliha Ibrahim. I, Mrs. Onofeko, the Area Officer of Oshodi Solo, Cooperative Area Office, hereby inaugurate Grace Cooperative Agricultural Multipurpose Society, Dominion Cooperative Agricultural Multipurpose Society, Divine Favor Cooperative Agricultural Multipurpose Society, Champion Cooperative Agricultural Multipurpose Society, Achievers Cooperative Agricultural Multipurpose Society, and Perfect Cooperative Agricultural Multipurpose Society. Today, the 28th day of the month of April of the year 2016, and I pray that you shall utilize the benefits derivable for the generality of your members and for the society at large. Amen. Thank you. Sit down, thank you.
Okay, the executive of the cooperative that has become, can you please move forward?
You please say after me. Put your right hand on your left chest and repeat after me. Hi, you mention your name, your society, and the position you are occupying. Do solemnly swear that I shall abide by my society's bylaw and Lagos State Cooperative bylaw. I shall be fair to every member of this society. I shall not be partisan, nor religious. I shall do my duty to the best of my ability. So help me God. Amen. Thank you very much.
Okay, of the time, and I want to say this is also historic because we eventually able to launch our 6 camps that we've registered. And I want to say a special thank you to Mrs. Onofeko and Mr. Balogun for finding our time to come for this inauguration. We also want to appreciate the Director of Cooperative and every other person that have made this to be possible for their support so far that we have enjoyed. And I believe that as we've been prayed for, that we're able to utilize this opportunity very well, and the cooperative will grow more than this, and everything that we desire shall surely come to pass. So once again, we want to appreciate you for coming. God help you. And I pray that promotion, progress shall be recorded in all your ways. God bless you.